Hi, I'm Brian Hickok with Platinum Adventure Vacations. This is the second half of the Alaskan tour video. Because of the length of the other video, I didn't want to make you guys sit and watch a 40-minute video, so I figured it would be best to break it up into two parts. So this is the second part of that video. And thanks for watching. The next one I'm going to discuss is G Adventures. So, G Adventures, just as a note, right now, to go on a G Adventure tour, almost all of them require you to be vaccinated in order to go on their tours. It's just something they started. So I'm not going to get, in about vaccinations, all that stuff, because that's not what this is about. But it's just something I want you to be aware of, that those tours do require you to be vaccinated. I'm going to talk about two different tours with them. The first tour is Alaskan Family Adventure. And I will say G Adventures is very much about immersion. Their tours want to get you immersed in the culture of the tour. So when I'm reading over this, you're going to hear a lot of stuff that's really about getting immersed in the culture. So the Family Adventure Tour is approximately $5,000 per person. When I was looking at this, I didn't see different prices throughout the year. The price was pretty consistent throughout the year. They don't have set months. This tour is available throughout the year, so there's not a season. So it's not May through August or whatever. It's throughout the year. They're available, and it's different every year. They, again, do not include airfare, but it's something that can be added. This tour is 9 days. It's available, like I said, throughout the year. There are no options to add a cruise to G Adventure Tours. However, you could add a separate You could add a separate cruise if the dates were to match up. So, you could do that. It's nothing saying you can't. This particular tour includes 12 meals, so 8 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 1 dinner. And it includes 5 different destinations. So day 1, you start out in Anchorage. Then you travel to Seaward on day 2. Day 3 is Seaward. Day 4, you travel to Kekna. Day 5, you travel to Denali National Park. Day 6, you spend in Denali National Park and Preserve. Day 7, you spend in Denali National Park and Preserve. Day 8, you travel to Anchorage. And, of course, day 9, you head home. All accommodations are moderate to luxury, so it's a mix. It just depends on the tours. But this particular tour, it's moderate to luxury, so it's not going to be low-class accommodations. Accommodations are going to be generally decent to very nice. This particular tour includes the following activities: Alaskan Sea Life Center, a hike on the Exit Glacier and Harding Icefield, a catamaran tour of the Nye Forge National Park, Lower Winter Creek Trail hike, Mount Aliaska. Let me try that again. Aliaska aerial tram. I may have said that totally wrong, but anyways, it's an aerial tram. Family Journey Moment. So in this, it's a Denali Family Immersive Lunch and Lecture. And then Family Journeys Moment is at a Husky Homestead. And then a scenic shuttle to Alaskan Visitor Center. And then a Denali National Park visit. And then a Family Journeys Moment at the Denali which includes a Denali Immersive Presentation and Hike. And then a Denali Hike. And again, there is several optional tours available during schedule-free time. Let me find the information on these immersion things, because I think they're kind of interesting. The family immersion, it's a chance to, like I said, these these particular tours tend to be about the immersion, and that's their big thing. They want you to really get immersed in the culture. Let me see if I can find. So let's see. So the first one I talked about, Denali Family Immersive Lunch and Lecture. I'm just going to read what it says here. So visit the esteemed Denali Education Center for lunch and an interactive overview of the park and its subarctic ecosystem. You get an introduction to National Geographic's legacy with American national parks, as well as other projects National Geographic has supported in Denali National Park and across Alaska. Listen to stories about the park's history, culture, as well as characteristics of its subarctic ecosystem. Learn about the complex geology here and how First Nations people have survived for generations in one of the most formidable climates on the planet. So they want you to learn about Alaska. It's not just going on vacation. They want you to learn about Alaska. They want you to come home with something from this. The Husky Homestead. You go to a Husky Homestead led by four-time Iditarod champion Jeff King, which I think that would be really cool. To learn about the Iditarod traditions in the demanding Alaskan wilderness. Get a behind-the-scenes view of the champion sled dogs during their summer training. Hear tales about the people who lived in this unforgiving terrain year-round and the heroic Huskies that helped them survive. So again, they want you to come back with knowledge. They want you to learn about this. So I think that's what's really cool about this particular company, this supplier. And then the last one, the Denali Immersive Presentation and Hike, is living next to the highest mountain in North America requires intense planning and preparation, and even then it's no easy feat. Learn how people lived in this remote region, some without running water, and over 100 miles from the closest grocery store. Meet a year-round resident of Denali and ask questions about surviving in the region with 8 months of winter. Then head out with a naturalist on a guided hike to take in the awe-inspiring beauty of Denali wilderness. And again, it's about coming home with knowledge and learning about where you're visiting. And the nice thing, G Adventures, that's part of a lot of their tours, no matter where you go. Not just Alaska, it's anywhere. So that's the cool thing about G Adventures. The next tour that I'm going to talk about by G Adventures is a hike Alaska, Glacier, and Denali. Now this tour is going to be completely different than any other tour. It is a lot of hiking, hence the name Hike Alaska. It is going to be for those people who are a little bit better shape, who can do a lot of walking, who can do hiking and things like that. So it's just something to keep in mind, not to discourage people, but I just want you to know what you're getting into if you're looking at something like this. This tour price is approximately $2,000, so it's a little bit cheaper tour. It does not include airfare, but again, airfare can be included in the price, but the price that I gave you does not include airfare. This tour is 7 days, and it's available between mid-June and late August. And again, because it's a hike, it's during the warmer time of the year where there's no snow out there. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's going to be during the summer. There's not an option to add a cruise. However, like every other one, you can add a cruise as long as the date's lined up. You can add a cruise from another supplier. It's just not something you can add through G Adventures. This tour does include 11 meals, 6 breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 2 dinners. And it includes 3 different destinations. So the destinations are going to be a little bit less because you are doing a lot of hiking. So therefore, you're not taking a bus to every place you go. You're hiking everywhere you go for the most part. However, there is some transportation in between towns, but you're spending a lot of time in those towns hiking. So the first day, you're going to spend your time in Anchorage and work your way to Seaward. And then day 2 and 3, you'll be in Seaward. Day 4, you travel to Denali National Park and Preserve. And then day 5 and 6, you'll spend in Denali National Park and Preserve. And then day 7, you travel back to Anchorage for your departure home. So you start out and end in Anchorage. The accommodations does include 3 nights of camping and 3 nights in cabins with shared bathrooms all those nights. So again, you're not going to be in a hotel. You're not going to be in a luxury hotel or any of that. You're going to be camping. You're going to be in cabins. I do believe they provide the tent, so you don't have to bring your own tent and things like that. But it is, hiking and camping, so it's a lot different than the normal tours. The following activities are included: a visit to Chugach National Forest with hikes to Byron Creek and Carter Lake, a hike up Mountain Marathon and seaward, a Harding Icefield hike, a trip to Denali State Park with hikes along the Kisugi Ridge Trail via Byers Lake Trail, a hike up Mount Healy Overlook Trail in Denali National Park, and a hike along Horseshoe Lake. So again, it is a lot of hiking, a lot of activity, a lot of walking. There are several optional tours, just like the other tours that during your free time that you can do. But like I said, it's important to know that this is a very active tour. This is not, you're not going to go on a tour bus. You're not going to be visiting a homestead. You're not going to be visiting museums. You're going to be doing a lot of hiking. However, it allows you to see a lot of beautiful sights. There's a lot of potential to see wildlife, things like that. So if you're looking to really have something that's active, you're an active couple, active family, this may be the tour for you. The next group we're going to talk about is Colette. You've probably heard of Colette on Wheel of Fortune if you're a Wheel of Fortune watcher. Especially right now, they're giving away an Alaskan cruise on Wheel of Fortune that's through Colette. Colette is another premier tour supplier. They are luxury. They're first class. The particular tour we're going to start with is Alaska, America's Last Frontier. This tour is approximately $4,000 a person. There wasn't really price differences throughout the year. That's pretty much the price. It does not include airfare. However, airfare can be included. An important note on their airfare: if you do not book your flights through them, they do not include transfers. So in order to get the transfers, you have included transfers, you have to book your flights through them. Again, there is cost savings when you book a flight through any of these tour suppliers because they have buying power. But you also have those advantages where they include transfer, which can save you quite a bit of money. A transfer can be anywhere from $50 to a couple $100 a person, depending on what mode of transportation you use. So just something to keep in mind. This tour is 9 days long. It is available between late May and early September. There is not an option to add a cruise to Colette, at least the Alaskan tours. However, like any other tour, you can go to another supplier and have a cruise added as long as the dates line up. This one does include 13 meals, so 8 breakfasts, 2 lunches, and 3 dinners. There's 4 different destinations that you will go to. You start out in Fairbanks and you spend day 1, 2, and 3 in Fairbanks. Then day 4 you travel to Denali National Park. Day 5 you spend in Denali National Park. Day 6 you travel to Tequitna. Day 7 you travel to Acreage. Day 8 you spend in Acreage, and then day 9 you will head home. All the accommodations are generally first class with Colette. Again, just like Globus, there are times that the accommodations may not be first class because they're just not available in those areas that they're visiting. But for the most part, they are going to be first class. The activities included with this tour is visit to a locally owned gold panning experience. You'll learn about the region's gold mining past and try your hand at panning gold. Fairbanks City Tour. A visit to the legendary Trailbreaker Kennel, which is a dog sledding kennel where they train the huskies and things like that. And you'll be able to spend time learning about that as well as seeing the dogs. Train ride to Denali National Park. And then you have a choice between a hike or a bus tour into Denali National Park. So this, is nice because if you're somebody who can't do a lot of walking, you can do the bus tour. You still get to go into Denali National Park and see the sights. But if you're somebody that can be active, you can get around pretty decent, then you can do the hike. I don't believe the hike is too awfully bad. It's not going to be the same as the G Adventure hike where you're going up steep hills and things like that. I think this is a little bit more moderate or so. It's not going to be very strenuous. Then you have a full day Tundra Wilderness tour, and you have a meet and greet with a Takikna local, where you basically will learn about their local customs and be able to ask questions and things. Then you'll visit a musk ox farm. You'll learn about the musk ox. You'll learn about the farm and get to see some of the oxes out there. And then you have a panoramic city tour of Anchorage. And then you'll visit Alaska Native Heritage Center. And then you have a glacier cruise through Prince William Sound. And again, like all the other tours, there are options available for additional tours in your free time. And all these optional tours, a lot of times there is a cost associated with them, just so you know. So it's not including a cost. These are additional costs if you do these optional tours on any of the tours I discussed today. The next one and the last one we're going to talk about is Alaska Northern Lights, which is again by Colette. This particular tour is about $3,000 a person. The price stays pretty much the same throughout the availability of this tour. Does not include airfare, of course. As you're seeing here, none of them include airfare, but it can be added. The tour is 7 days. This one is available between late February and late March. The reason is because it's for the Northern Lights. That's why you're doing this tour. This tour is about the Northern Lights. So, as we talked about in last week's video, February, March is probably the best time for that. So that's why these tours are available then. There is not an option to add a cruise, and frankly, there's not an option if you go to another vendor, because it's outside of the cruise season. So there is no option at all to add a cruise to this particular tour. Where are we at here? Let's see. Oh, this one includes 11 meals, 6 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 3 dinners. And there's 3 different destinations. So you'll start in Fairbanks, and you'll be there for day 1, 2, and 3. And then you take a train ride to Takikna. And then you spend day 5 in Takikna. And then day 6 in Anchorage. And then day 7 you head home. On this particular tour, all accommodations are going to be generally first class. And it includes the following activities: a visit to an antique auto museum, a dog sledding on the snow with an expert guide. So this is not the summer dog sledding. Like, I don't know if you, well, let me back up. So during the summertime, they have dog sledding, but it's not really dog sledding like you would think. It's on a summer sled. So it's generally a sled that has wheels on it and the dogs pull you. During the wintertime is when you can go and do actual snow dog sledding. And so that's what this is dog sledding on the actual snow with an expert guide. So you'll have an expert that helps you learn and get you sledding. Where are we at here? Dinner at the kennel owner's home, which I think is interesting. So you actually have dinner at the home of the owner of the kennel where you did the dog sledding. And I think that's kind of cool. You get to experience that and have a home-cooked meal, so to speak. Then you get to see the Northern Lights. I think that's kind of cool. So you will get to see the Northern Lights. A train ride to Takikna. A lecture on down-to-earth Alaskan lifestyle. A visit to a musk ox farm as well on this tour. A glacier cruise of Prince William Sound. And then a visit to Anchorage Museum. And again, this tour, like all the other ones, have optional tours available during your free time. So that's, like I said, this is the main suppliers I deal with. There are quite a few other tour suppliers out there. I have ones that do train stuff that I deal with and whatnot, but these are the main, probably the top ones, I would say. Not necessarily the main ones, but they're the top suppliers out there. Most people know of them. If you guys have any questions or you want more information on any of these tours or other tours that are offered for Alaska, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to help you plan your tour and book it for you. Right now is definitely a great time to start thinking about this because we are just a few months away from season for Alaska. So, like I said, other than the what was it, the last tour I talked about, they're all, we're coming up to where those tours are, you can start booking them now. So definitely reach out to me. I would love to help you with that. My web address is going to be www.platinumadventurevacations.com. My email that you can reach me at is info@platinumadventurevacations.com. And my phone number is let me back up. My phone number is 239-910-3101. And again, I would love to help you plan your tour to Alaska. This is definitely the time to really think about this stuff. So definitely give me a call or reach out to me. I hope you enjoy the video, and we will see you next week.